Hello, everyone. Yes, you are all welcome to today's live session. So, guys, we've got some important topic to share with you guys as we await the dates for the final ruling. We all know that it's going to happen this September, but we've not gotten that date. And as we are waiting for them to give us the date that they will be declaring who actually won in the last 2023 presidential election, there have been so many revelations coming up. Like looking at what is on the screen, this was reported by Sahara reporters. And recently, Justice Mary Odili made a statement, as in she said something that set the internet abuzz. But before we come back to that, I want us to take a look at what the lead counsel for Tinubu has got to say about this 2023 presidential election and the petition of Peter Obi, which is in court at the moment. Honestly, the call for all eyes on the judiciary is really giving them a very tough time. So let's listen to what he's got to say and we'll come back to that of Mary Odili, because we really have to digest all this for you guys to understand their plans for this final ruling that we are looking forward to getting the date for it. Just take a look at this.
AN Olanipekun has finally opened up as to his view on the 2023 presidential election. Just listen to him speak. Honestly, the call for all eyes on the judiciary is giving them a very tough time. Let me allow you listen to him now.
2023 general elections, which have generated a lot of controversies. I must confess, and most humbly, that in my over 7 decades as a Nigerian, and with the benefit of hindsight of having witnessed my first election when I was in Form 1 in 1965, through the other elections, I've not seen any election that have generated so much heat, so much controversy, hatred, abuses, intolerance, curses, and again, queuing after the Honorable Attorney General and J.K. Gassama and Shifa Woman, queuing after them, I'm not saying before them, have handled some election matters. Defending from presidents, Yaradua, to Jonathan, to Buhari, and now to President Tinubu. The question is this: why? It is because we key more into our tribal nationalities than the Nigerian enterprise.
Stop it.
Let us face it.
Stop it. Let us take this bit by bit. If I see myself before this learned gentleman, whom I didn't even know is over 70 years. He looks so young. God has blessed him, and thank God for him. I will look him in the face and say, the reason why the previous elections have not been raising much dust is because they used to hide in their cocoon to conclude it and dump it on us. It's because Nigerians in the first place never even believed in the majority of those politicians, so they don't care which way it went, either right or left. They just see them as the same thing. It's because Nigerians have never believed in one man who told them to go and verify himself and verify everything he's saying. It's because they have never seen a government who lied to them, who impoverished them, who literally raped them, and yet came back to tell them that they're the best they can have. It's because they have never seen an election process whereby they saw their vote printed, and at the time they finished voting, they refused to make their vote count, especially when it was clear that if your vote counted, you can actually see where they posted your vote on the internet. It's because they have never made our election process something that went through information technology. They do it with the cocoon of the more you look, the less you see. They say this one is incident form, whereby people who did not even register in a polling unit can be loaded in a trailer and moved over to the state. or where one man can sit down in his bedroom and fill 1 million forms with his touts and say it is incident form because the card reader did not work. And then they dump it before the judges and say, this is incident form. There was a problem. It's because the beavers actually worked. People were accredited. People who did not register in the polling unit were rejected by the beavers. And after the beavers worked and people voted, they refused to upload the election results. It's because the judges know the truth. And my honorable, learned man here, whom I respect for his age and his intelligence, knows quite well that Nigerians know the truth. This is the only election I can actually tell you that whereas they are drumming the ethnic beatings, they were drumming the religious beatings, one man stood and said, don't vote for me because of my ethnicity, don't vote for me because of my religion, vote for me because I am competent, vote for me because I have the capacity, vote for me because I know how to fix Nigeria. This election is generating this controversy because all those people who are not from the ethnic group of this man and who are not from the religious background of this man, they came together against the weaponization of their religiosity and their ethnicity and voted the same person, took them by surprise. And in the middle of the night, what is he saying here? Which election will be announced by 4 a.m. without generating controversy? Which election will be announced without collation, without generating controversy? Who is talking to him? I wish I could meet him in the flight or meet him in the office or he invite me over wherever he is and I ask him 3 questions so that his balloon could be busted. I get so infuriated immediately when he's talking, trying to go the path of religion and this. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with the religion. This is the only time when the youth woke up and say, we cast religion aside. We cast ethnicity aside. We want to vote competence. We want to vote capacity. We want to vote integrity. And because they said, despite the fact that you youths want to take over your nation, we'll still have to impose ourselves on you. That's why it's generating controversy. Go ahead.
There is a proverb in Yoruba land that if 2 children of the same parents, they are quarreling, they love themselves in a room, and now when the door is opened, they are smart. They have not spoken truth to themselves. An average Yoruba man, an average Hausa Fulani man, an average Igbo man, an average Chekri man will first of all want to say, I key into my ethnic nationality before Nigeria. It doesn't happen in America. It doesn't happen in Britain. It doesn't happen in Canada. In Canada, they have also diverse nationalities, the French and the English. But there is a nation that binds them together. When are we getting there? And how do we get there? There is much disunity in this country. In America, diversity in unity. Our own is diversity in disunity. Let's face it. Theirs is diversity in unity. Ours is diversity in disunity. And it's part of the takeaways that we have to think of. And I'm happy. Ministers are here. Leaders of our forces are here. Then how do we do it? I don't have the solution. But the solution is for us to think first. Like JFK said, think what you can do for America, not what America can do for you. Are we ready to leave this venue today to say that, okay, we're going to say we think more or first of what the country can do for us, not what we can take from the country. But we can only do that also. The right conditions precedent. If leaders are the led, if we have a change of heart. President Tinubu said a lot of things. He's been talking and he's saying the right thing. But there is a difference between saying it and walking the talk. And it's not a walk in the park. Seriously. He said, ministers, you have not been appointed by me to serve your ethnic nationalities. Good talk. Ministers, you have not been appointed by me to come and do the treasury. Good talk. The vice president said, and rightly too, that Nigeria is in a mess economically. We are in a mess. People are angry. And if that comes from the vice president, if it came from the vice president, very cerebral. He's not a loose talker. But what he's saying is obvious. It's just the truism. It only needed him to say it. I needed us, or at least us at this gathering, to also re-echo it. The economy is bad. There is transferred aggression. And part of the solution is this. We have to think. Those of us here, we have to be introspective, and also be considerate and be thoughtful. Otherwise, we are all endangered. It's not a question of the politicians alone. My lord, Honorable Attorney General, J.K. Gasama, if I you know you are big.
Please,
You are more
can
endangered than me.
I think he has veered off. But let me ask a question. I don't speak Yoruba, but I think, if I am not mistaken, a presidential candidate, in fact, even before he went for the primaries of his party, used 2 sentences to launch himself. I don't know what it means. If you know what it means, tell me. Emi Lokon and the Yoruba Lokon. What does that mean, please? I don't know, but people are trying to say, because I don't understand Yoruba, but people are trying to say that it means it is the turn of Yoruba and it is my turn to represent Yoruba, so to say. Now, in public speaking, there is something we call positioning your speech. It's like everything about that campaign, he was trying to position himself on this premise. I am launching this campaign. That this is Yoruba's turn and this is my turn. So the chalice already got poisoned by the same man he is defending. Because this is a man that launched himself. I am not saying he's not capable, and I am not saying that we do not know many other controversies that surround him. But at least he was bold enough to push his neck out based on his ethnicity. He used his ethnicity as a launching pad for his campaign. And here is someone telling us to forget it. And here is someone telling us that controversy was generated. And it is because he launched himself based on that. That is why another person woke up and says, I would rather not launch myself on the basis of my ethnicity or my religion. I present myself to you, all Nigerians. Vote for me if I am capable. Vote for me if you think I have the integrity. Vote for me if you think I have a capacity. And let me prove to Mr. Olanipekun, senior advocate, that Nigeria trounced them and trashed them and proved to them that this election has absolutely nothing to do with ethnicity or religion. Federal Capital Territory is, as it were, politically speaking, in Nigeria, a no man's land. Everybody have a share in that place. That is why a man from River State is the Minister of Federal Capital today. That is the melting pot of the whole Nigerians. Everybody have a representative there. That is why all the 460 members of the National Assembly have their homes and have their offices in FCT. And all the political parties in Nigeria have their homes and all their headquarters in FCT. All the embassies of all the nation that does anything in Nigeria have their consular, their offices in Abuja. that place where there are Muslims and Christians, that place where there are Igbos, Yoruba, Ichekiri, Hausa, Fulani, and every tribe you can mention in Nigeria, where all of them say, this belongs to us. When on the day of election, remember, all of them galvanize habitat, who are the inhabitants or the residents of Abuja. They came from the 36 states of Nigeria. They came from the southwest. They came from the south-south. They came from the northeast, north-central. There are idol worshippers from that place living in Abuja. There are Shongo worshippers. There are atheists and what have you. On the day of election, over 70% of them came out and voted one man. Show me religiosity there. Show me ethnicity. Abuja is the barometer with which you can measure the pulse of the whole Nigerians. And Abuja proved that this election was not determined. The attitude of voters in this election was not influenced by religion or ethnicity. They voted who they voted because of his integrity, his capacity, and his ability. And that is also why we are saying that if you win your village as a presidential candidate, the only way to prove that you won election in Nigeria is to come and prove it also in the FCT, where every state, every religion, every ethnic group have their representative in Abuja. They are a sample case of what Nigeria as an entity represents. Come to that FCT, prove it there as you prove it in other places. Peter Obi proved it. Labour Party proved it. When he got to Lagos, do you think it is Igbo people that voted for Peter Obi in Lagos only? How many Igbo people could give him the massive vote of about 900,000 according to PDP, that they took 400,000 and kept it somewhere? Do you think that it is ethnicity that performed what happened in Lagos? Do you think it is religion that performed what happened in Lagos? The answer is no. Go to Borno State. They literally made sure that half of Borno State did not vote. Is Peter Obi is he from Borno State? The answer is no. Because one man from Borno State is the vice presidential candidate of APC. And he knew that if he allowed his own people to come out and vote, that they will floor him, that they will tell him, even though you are our son, we reject you in the ballot. I can debate Olanipekun SAN. I can debate him for 2 hours and prove to him that everything he's saying here, especially with respect to this election, is, I don't want to use the kind of word that is popping out of me. It doesn't make sense. It does not hold water. He missed it. And I pray that other intelligent Nigerians will pick hole in this statement and point him out to it and say, men like him, who should be building Nigeria? Oh, God help Nigeria. It's like the older ones are actually the problem of Nigeria. It's like the older ones. Did you remember what Obaseki said, Governor Obaseki? Governor Obaseki told his party, he told his party executive, PDP, said, even though you people are party executive, some of your children are obedient. Some of your children are obedient. Show me where ethnicity does that in Edo State. The governor of Edo State is not an Igbo man. Obaseki, the last time I checked, has nothing to do with Igbo. But across Nigeria, Taraba State, Edo State, look at where they are. Taraba is in the northeast. Edo State is in the south-south. All of them scattered. They stood their ground. They came. Plateau State has nothing to do with the religion. Across Nigeria, these are empirical proof. But they denied these people their vote. The only other time this kind of rallying occurred was in 1993. 30 years ago. No, yes, 30 years ago. In 1993. When it was a Muslim ticket, Nigeria never bothered. They felt that MKO Abiola could deliver for them. They got to Bashir Othman's state, Kano state. They defeated him in his state. They came to Anambra State, where he picked his own running mate. They defeated NRC in Anambra State. And just like what happened in 2023, these same old men, these same people who hate Nigeria and tell us that they love Nigeria, they stopped MKO Abiola from becoming president. And they killed him and continue to run Nigeria the way it is. MKO Abiola, nobody cared about his ethnicity. Nobody cared about his religion. Nobody cared. And they said to we Nigerians, we children then, even though you did not care, we will still impose on you our choice. And they put Nigeria again on a wheel from 1993 to 1999. Nigeria never had confidence in them. Whatever they decide they did it from 1999 until 2022, when one gentleman said, let's do this, Nigerians. Hello, young men, come and take back your country. I am carrying the flag. I want to represent you people. And these youths from nowhere woke up again. Within a space of how many months? They trooped, they lined up under the sun to register, to become voters. They were begging INEC to register them. About 15 million new people registered in a space of months, few months. And they trooped out to vote. They denied them. Olanipekun SAN, he was sitting down in his parlor. He was watching the television. I pray he could see me with the pain in my heart, what I'm saying tonight. Because he was sitting down in his parlor, I know. He was watching the television. He saw young men, including probably his grandchild, disappointed. He saw even people as young as probably as his grandchildren, disappointed. And he had the temerity to come back in court and use his mouth to say that INEC can be ranked over about 90% efficient. That IREV is just mere faults of the beavers. Olanipekun SAN's description of INEC's rape of Nigeria made me lose hope in men like him that I used to think were repeatable, were intelligent, and could save Nigeria. It made me realize that every man indeed has his price. It's just a matter of how much you could dangle before that person. Because he's seeing the truth in the face and he's telling us to accept it as a lie. I saw his write-up for the governorship candidate of PDP in Enugu State. And I asked myself, must you do this? I asked him, must you collect this money? How can you see the truth and you say it's not the truth? How can you see a lie and you say it's the truth just because you want to prove you're a lawyer? Where is ethics? Where is integrity? It's a shame. I am disappointed in these people. I'm disappointed in their age, disappointed in the hope I once had in them. And all thanks to Peter Obi, whom God used to expose this men's hypocrisy, their hypocrisy to Nigeria. Peter Obi, even if he does not become president tomorrow, he will forever remain the president in our hearts. MKO Abiola died as far back as, I think, June or July 1998. We still talk about him. Till date. We still talk about the Hope 93 that he used when he was campaigning. We still saw the Nigeria that he could give us. Maybe he could have been a failure if he became a president, but at least they did not allow him to prove whether he could succeed or a failure. They didn't give him that privilege. Who knows whether Peter Obi could be a failure or a success? They don't want to give him that privilege. These old men are ganging up, not against Peter Obi, but against Nigerians. But I pray that Nigerians should wake up and pray that God will begin to deliver us from the hand of these old men that are ganging up against us. Thank you.
We are in danger because anybody in the street who is poor, who is hungry, who is thirsty, who is rudderless, who doesn't have any job, thinks wrongly, but that's his own conviction that all of us here, and each and every one of us here, is an oppressor. They don't want to care whether Chifolani Pepun burns the midnight oil. Reading. They don't want to care. Once they know that you can make ends meet, they see you as an oppressor. That is what you and me, all of us gathered here today to come and honor this gentleman. Let us go out with that same song that we are all in danger.
So guys, Mary Odili has come under fire after praising Tinubu's lawyer and that of the APC. I tell you, she's not finding it easy with the obedient family. So many people are now digging deep into some of the headlines, that carried her in the past. And like you can see the one on the screen. And this person said, just take a look at this tweet. So this person says, all I can see is that the pressure is getting real. If you want to know more about Justice Mary Odili, read the attached article in this thread. She can rain praises on Bola Tinubu's lawyer, Wole Olanipekun SAN, and their attorney general as long as she wants. I don't care. They are birds of a feather. It's no longer business as usual. Any judgment that fails to disqualify Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be a gross violation of our constitution and electoral law. The justices must do the right thing this time around. All eyes on them. Hashtag all eyes on the judiciary. So guys, let me allow you listen to what she said, during this presentation. Honestly, she went ahead to praise the opposition lawyers, saying that they are experts, they are professionals, they know how to do their job well, while she was shunning those calling for all eyes to be on the judiciary. Let me allow you listen to what she said.
This colloquium and book launch in honor of Chief Kyari Gazama upon the attainment of 25 years as the senior advocate of Nigeria is an epochal achievement. It is no doubt appropriate that the theme is, quote, the Nigeria of our dreams, a call to the patriots. I say so in the light of the prevailing situation in Nigeria as a result of the 2023 general elections, which has generated a lot of storm, necessitating the conversation which we are about to indulge in, as there seems to be moves to throw the nation into chaos or conflagration. These may be brought about by some individuals and groups who, fanning the embers of hatred, bigotry, and tribalism, fail to see the possible outcomes of the utterances without caution that are being thrown around. It is human to feel cheated or having the short end of the stick, but one who is not declared a winner at any of the electoral contests, such emotions, however grim, does not justify bringing the roof down, the roof of our nation. The reason is simple, that in such an eventuality, that aggrieved person may not be spared, as the commotion that would ensue would be like an unguided missile which could land anywhere and upon anyone. Therefore, in ventilating our points of view and facts at the electoral tribunals or other courts, a sense of responsibility from all parties is demanded. The situation does not call for the blackmail of the judges or the posting of speculatory hypotheses, giving them such a life of their own, which run riot and accepted by the hapless and innocent in the society as the truth. Knowing the quality of participants at this colloquium, and I'm happy those who are well equipped in litigation matters or electoral disputes. Chief Olonekweku is a master, and our Attorney General, recently sworn in. These are experts. I am confident that having such persons here, including our chief host, Chief J.K. Gazama, there is confidence that at the end of the day, a resetting of the mind would be taking place, and we would keep things in perspective in the full knowledge that elections are seasonal and litigations relating thereto of the same bent. And so, when the seasons are gone, the courts get back to their natural and regular duties of adjudication regarding the affairs and rights of all persons, irrespective of their status in life. J.K. Gazama, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has called us to this discourse, lest we forget our past, the recent happenings in our country, and the need for a restoration of the ethos and the values for which the founding fathers
It's okay.
had set in motion as guide.
Look, let's leave these people. You remember that senator from Bauchi State, forgotten his name, whose wife was the president of the Court of Appeal? You remember?
Ukachua.
Bolkachua. You remember that Motala Nyako's wife was also a judge of the High Court. And Peter Odili, this is Justice Mary Odili, who also happens to be a retired justice of the Supreme Court. And our own Wiketu, his wife, is a judge at the High Court level. Okay? All these politicians whose wives are top lawyers, top judges, our system is still as corrupt, dirty, manipulated. Who would have known until Bolkachua, out of anger, spoke out that indeed their husband's influenced the outcomes of some judgments that had affected their friends? Who would have known? But even after that man made that confession, what has happened? Nothing. When he was talking, he was being shouted down by the Senate president then, Lawan, that he shouldn't talk, but he was talking. That his influence over his wife had helped some of his colleagues. It may be that the wife said, you know what? Your friends cannot get justice, but if they go this way and go the other way, they can knock off the man who should be giving justice through technical knockout. Do you understand? So let's push back and ask ourselves, with all the relationship of a man like Wike Of course, you see all the awards and all the naming of the judiciary complex in River State after Mary Odili before election and everything. What seed was Wike sowing? Was he sowing a seed for eventual telephone call between his special retired justice of the Supreme Court who could pick up a phone and call the current justices? If the pattern of what Bolkachua said exists in Nigeria, is it only limited to the appeal court? As we said yesterday, Nigerians, we know we voted. We know we tried our best. I am hopeful that these judges, the evidence before them is strong enough to not influence them to disappoint Nigerians. But let's just say that it happens. What do they think they would have achieved? They would have helped to deepen the convictions of Nigerians that they can be trusted. They would have helped to assure more. I got a call yesterday. Another young man who came here to study and did his PhD and relocated Nigeria to, after paying his school fees, about 36,000 pounds that he finished paying, went back to Nigeria to lecture. But with the stifling and owing of salary and co, he started pursuing a visa to jump out of Nigeria. Before this September finishes, he's just gotten his visa. He's coming back to the Western world. That brain, that resources, gone, lost to the Western world. And this is someone who did his PhD with TET Fund, Tertiary Education Trust Fund. The intention of that Tertiary Education Trust Fund was to train people who will come and impact Nigeria. Our leaders, these old people that are manipulating us, recycling themselves.
So, Doc, I have a question. When our Justice Millie Odili was speaking, she said something very striking, that those, assuming the judgment is given, and if it didn't favor you, shouldn't bring down the roof of our nation. Does it mean she's already giving us a tip on how the ruling, the final ruling is going to go? Because for her to be sending that message, she's like already cautioning those that will not have this judgment go in their favor. That in case if you people didn't get what you are expecting, please don't bring down the roof of our nation, Nigeria. So can you throw more light on that, please?
When INEC refused to declare the result of Enugu State governorship election, Nigerians, Enugu State indigenes, especially those who saw the injustice, mobilized and went to INEC's office at Independence Layout. They did not burn anything. They did not spoil anything. They just went there. They stayed there. They held night vigil. They were holding night vigil there. People were donating bags of rice, bringing goats and cows. They were killing, cooking, dancing, and praying there. They didn't spoil anything. When they hijacked the result and sent it to Abuja and arbitrarily reduced the number, INEC reduced the number by themselves. Before they came to declare to the public the patching up and the manipulation of the result, the former governor of old Anambra State, Senator Jim Ifeanyi Chukwuobodo, came, drove his car, and came out to meet these youths who have been keeping vigil for days, and told them, I am a father to you people. I just want to tell you people that I am happy how you people have conducted yourself. You have conducted yourself well, and the only thing I want to tell you people is, please, whatever the result is, let's just take it. That is what the result will be. Later on that evening, people started saying, we don't trust this man. We don't trust this man. Remember that the current governor of Enugu State now, he was the person, part of the people who pushed him out and imposed him on the people. In the evening of that day, they robbed Enugu State people of their mandates. So, I don't want to quote Mrs. Mary Odili, JSC, retired. But if I remember what happened in Enugu State with respect to people who were keeping vigil and how Jim came to do his own before going, all I could say is, Nigerians, wake up. People are speaking to you in parables. We are beginning to hear people talk to us in parables. It's all left to us to ask ourselves, what are we going to do with these parables? That is my take. That's the way I will respond to this. Does that make sense?
Yes, to certain
I will leave it that way.
extent. Yes, so we've seen it. Honestly, the way things are going, these people, I don't know, does it mean they've not seen reasons with Nigerians as to why this sitting president should be disqualified? Because from the way they are speaking, I don't think they think the way we are thinking. You look at somebody who has perjury case, forgery, double nomination for future, and so many things, when it comes to the petition that was filed at the tribunal. And we all know that will be moving over to the Supreme Court. But looking at all these things, what gives them that confidence to come out and tell Nigerians that in case this ruling does not go in your favor, please don't bring down the roof of the nation? It's not as if anybody is planning to do anything. For me, all we just want is justice. There is no negative plan, in the minds of the youths, the Nigerian people, Peter Obi supporters. All we are just asking the judges, the judiciary, the tribunal is, please give us justice. Our eyes must be on you. At least any final ruling they will come up with, they will give Nigerians their reasons as to why they choose to go that direction.
Let me ask a question. Where is the other SAN representing Tinubu in this presidential election petition, in this current election petition tribunal? Where is their own speech in this colloquium? Where is Okutepa? Where is Onyechi Bazo? Where is Levy, SAN? Where are they? Where are the SANs that is representing APM? Why is it just an assemblage of either people who are pro-APC,
APC, and Tinubu's council,
pro-Wike, and pro-Tinubu that is in that place? Is that thing a Nigerian meeting or a party meeting where they are hobnobbing? The lawyers and the politicians and the retired justices are hobnobbing. This is the way I think. I may be wrong, but that's the way I think. Where are they? Because like the initial listing said, the birds of the same feather, they flock together. Where is the likes of Justice Ogebe? Have you heard from him? He's also a retired justice of the Supreme Court, because the man feels ashamed of what the Supreme Court that he sat for years had become under APC. Under APC. Olani Bekun said that Nigeria is in a mess, but that's true. Who put us in that mess? They may say PDP rubbish Nigeria. Is 8 years not good enough to wake things up? Is 8 years not good enough to wake things up? Instead, APC took Nigeria from the zero level where PDP, quote and unquote, left it. Instead of bringing it up to 1, they pushed it backward to -10, from 0 to -10. When you move from 0 to -10, 0 becomes like gold. And you have the temerity to come and say that Nigeria is in a mess, that this government inherited, according to a caption I saw credited to Soludo, that this government inherited Nigeria like a dead horse. That horse may have been lazy and not working when PDP handed it over to them. They killed the horse. APC killed the horse. It may be a hungry horse handed over to them by PDP in 2015, but they made sure that they killed the horse. And now they came over to inherit it again, and they're telling us that we just inherited a killed horse from us. You people should bear with us. Are they not ashamed of themselves? Eight years.
So Nigeria is really a very funny place, honestly. You make mention of Soludo. Myself, I was wondering, is it that he's trying to look for Tinubu's attention? Is he trying to attract Tinubu,
No,
on his side?
It's simple. Soludo just don't like that a young man from the same senatorial zone like him, he can never wear the shoe he's worn. He can never be Peter Obi in the heart of Nigerians. He can never be Peter Obi in the assessment of Nigerians. He can never. It has not dawned on him that Peter Obi is not even power hungry like all of them politicians of today. It has not dawned on him that it is us, we are the people begging Peter Obi to come and help us. He doesn't care. He's a successful businessman. All of them are professional politicians. Let them show us their businesses. What are they doing? Except for politics, what are they doing for a living? But Peter Obi said, I'm a trader. And he is, and he's not hiding it. All of them that are in politics today, how many people are putting food on their table, directly or indirectly, courtesy of Peter Obi's entrepreneurial capacity and abilities? How many? Didn't you hear that your president, your honorable president, says that increasing the number of ministers is a way of creating employment? That is it. So let us leave it that way, please. I think we need to.
Let's just pick some of the comments that we have here. There's 4 eyes must be on the judiciary.
Well, it says, does it mean that Joseph is not ashamed to come and announce on the? What do you call being ashamed? People are after their business. Do you feel ashamed doing your business? Okay, let me ask us a question. Did you remember, was it in 2000 and what? When Justice Mary Odili's daughter was wedding? Could you please tell me the people who gave gifts and how many gifts? I can't remember. They said the number of brand new cars that was sent could open a car shop. These people are whining and dining together. They are whining and dining together. And they are protecting their interests. There is no shame when people are fighting and protecting their interests. The only thing I want to encourage Nigerians, the only thing is this. If these people are bold, this bold, if these people are not this ashamed to fight to protect their interests, to continue to subjugate us and make us their slaves, let us not be ashamed and let us be bold to stand our ground and tell them no.
Yes.
That is it. That's all. And that I will say is my last for tonight. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll have a good time, God helping us. Time is counting. Today is September 3. We have maximum of maybe about 18 days or thereabout. And we're here. And we hear how we will be going to Supreme Court, because whatever happens, we are going to the Supreme Court. We will hear the outcome, whether we'll go to the Supreme Court to protect the judgment given to us, or we are going to the Supreme Court to tell them, let them not allow any rape, this rape of justice to continue. Head or tail, we are going to Supreme Court. Good night, Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for all the contributions. So, guys, thank you very much, our viewers. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for being a part of today's live session. Thank you very, very much. Please just do us a favor by liking this video, please, so that YouTube can recommend it for others to watch, because we need to keep ourselves, informed. We need to be bringing this update so that we know what is happening and, know how to, prepare for all this. We just have to keep ourselves informed, and that is why we always come here to share with you guys what is happening. Please support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell so that you get all our updates. I really want to say a very big thank you for being a part of this. See you again tomorrow. God bless you all and have a good night. Doc, thank you for your contributions. Good night.
Thank you. I appreciate
Bye
it.
to
Good
all
night.
of you.
Yeah.
Bye.